It is somewhat of a mystery why the Chariot, clearly a card of force and control, should be of the water element. But its attribution to Cancer is indeed valid because this card deals heavily with the emotions. Specifically, the Chariot is a card of emotional control, the power of the mind to shape the desires of the heart and direct them to meaningful expression. This is not the emotional control of the Emperor, who totally suppresses all of his emotions in favour of logic and reason. The man driving the chariot knows that his emotions are not to be swept under the rug, but trained and used to his greater good. The triumph over both positive and negative emotions is often shown by two horses or sphinxes of different colours pulling the chariot. Though on their own they would run wild and untamed, going in whatever direction they chose necessary. Here they can only move forward, so they still have some power, but this power has to be directed and focused by the man holding the reins. The chariot cannot move without horses to pull it, just as we cannot function without our emotions to drive us. But without the control of the chariot, the horses would run free, just as our emotions can run wild when unchecked and uncontrolled. Balance is needed. The chariot embodies the type of discipline that is necessary to gain control over our emotions, and this is why a military symbol has been chosen for this card. The purpose of the harsh conditions of the military is to develop the will and the ability needed to control emotions and put them to productive use on the battlefield. Only through the mastery of yourself can you ever hope to achieve mastery over others and your environment. The wisdom and the glory gained through conquering one's enemies is nothing compared to the self-esteem you build through defeating your fear. Inner enemies are often tougher to defeat than outer ones, and thus teach you much more. Through the application of emotional fear, we can learn to achieve our goals and desires much more quickly. For someone like the man on the chariot, who is in total control of his will and his emotions, almost everything is within his grasp. In the fourth deck, written across the canopy of the chariot is the word abracadabra, which may seem foolish at first glance. What is the stage magician's catchphrase doing here? Is there magic involved? No, there is no magic. Abracadabra comes from Hebrew, and it translates roughly to "what I have said will be done," or "as it is said, so it shall be." Nothing embodies the spirit of the chariot more than this word. The appearance of the chariot often shows a need to take control of your emotions, and instead of wasting energy grieving or complaining, use the energy to take action and to make changes in the world. Fear will cripple you unless, like the chariot demands, you can acknowledge it and face it. Then you can use your fear constructively for your own purposes. But this type of control is not limited to the negative emotions. In relationships, the chariot often shows how idle infatuation can be transformed into passion and confidence. Through controlling your emotions, the chariot says you will eventually learn to control yourself. And once you have reached that stage, anything is possible. Once you have transcended your fears, you start transcending your restrictions until nothing can hold you back from the success you deserve. The chariot appearance is often herald of victory through discipline and confidence. A moment where opposition lies defeated. Great success and achievements will come to you. If you master your passions and believe in the power of your will, do not let anything distract or sway you away from your goals, and proceed with the straight flight of an arrow. Nothing is beyond your ability if you believe in your own power. Abracadabra. Now for Strength. The title of this card is often misleading because most people tend to think of the strength as a property of a physical body, but this is not a card of brute force, because none of the major arcana apply directly to the physical body. These are cards of ideas, feelings and beliefs. Trying to take a major arcanum depicting someone strong of body would be a pointless exercise. But strength is not always measured in terms of how much you can lift or how fast you can run. True strength is fortitude of character and the ability of not only control of emotions, but to rise above them and triumph over all out lower impulses and desires. This card continues the lessons of the Chariot, showing that once we have learned to control emotion, we must rise above it. Many people attribute the notions of forgiveness, compassion and nurturing of this card, but this is clearly not what is shown by strength. This is a fire card, and therefore detrimental of all the emotions. The only qualities that abound in strength are courage and patience. Neither of these are really emotions, but ways of acting and doing that are not tempered by feeling. Courage is the antithesis of fear. Patience, the control of worldly desires. There is no emotion here, but determination and action. The symbology of the lion is common in strength, and aptly so. The lion is the beast within, the raging inner desire inside every one of us, that must be controlled, or it will be set free to manifest in the world. The image of the woman opening the mouth of the lion shows both courage and patience. She must not fear the lion, and she must wait for it to tire before she can exert her own will upon it. This is not an image of compassion in the sense of the word. How can forcing a creature to obey your will be seen as compassionate? Forgiveness and nurturing. Forgiveness and nurturing are likewise not to be seen anywhere in this image. There is just the purity of the maiden and the power of the inner beast that she is attempting to control. She needs patience to defeat the lion, because her power is not brute physical force as mentioned. The force she has is very little, but it can be applied infinitely, and she will continue to apply light but constant pressure until the lion submit to her superior will. It does show a certain determination and a conviction that even small results will have effects if kept up long enough, just as a constant dripping hollows a stone. So strength is not a card of compassion and love, but a card of quiet yet unstoppable power. Such power radiates from the soul, and for a consciousness aware of this power, there can be no resistance and no defeat. The qualities of strength are already in you, waiting to appear once you have mastered all the base emotions, and when you are ready to move on to the spiritual tasks that lay ahead. Its main lesson is that emotions can be transcended if spiritual wisdom and the intuition are to be awakened. Whispers from the intuition are often drowned out by the constant roar of emotion and preoccupation and fear. Often once you have eliminated these, can the silence you need be created. So conquer your fears, control your impulses, and never lose patience with yourself or what you are doing. Eventually you will see the wisdom of letting go of your lower self. This is not a card of love over hatred as most would see it. This is simply mind over matter, superior over inferior desires. No matter how long the beast within you seems, you have the power to control it and make it submit to your will. This cannot be done with physical force or with undue haste. It is a slow and difficult process. When strength is around, however, you can be assured that you have enough endurance to see this task through to its eventual end. If you are pushing too hard, strength shows the need to withdraw for a moment and be patient. Enlightenment will come only when the time is right. It cannot be rushed.